Hi, I'm Christina, and I'm going to teach you today how to paint a picture. So first of all, you're going to want a very large brush and a clear canvas. I am going to paint my whole backdrop in a light blue, making sure to cover the whole thing. I'm going to use quite a bit of paint here. I'm going to make sure that you get all the edges. Normally you would let this dry and then you would go ahead and make a second coat. Today I'm just going to try to get a nice even coat on here and call that good. Alright, so I think we have enough paint on here. It looks pretty well even. Just takes a little bit to dry. So I have a bunch of different colored paints today, an assortment of different size brushes, and I also have some paper towels. So normally this would dry for about 5 or 10 minutes. For the sake of time today, we're just going to keep moving along. So I'm going to start by making the center of my flower, and I'm going to choose a brush that's maybe not quite so large, and I'm going to do yellow. So for my yellow, I'm just going to go right here in the center and just swirl my brush around. And of course it's a little wet, so my colors are going to kind of smudge together a little bit, but I think that's going to be okay. Can just come back through and dabble a little bit more on to get whatever look you would like for your flower. You want it a little bit more yellow, a little bit more dimensional, you can just tap the brush around a little bit, give it a little bit of texture. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm just going to start making, I'm actually going to use a smaller brush, and I'm going to start making some petals. I'm going to use pink, and I'm just going to come around, and you can make your petals as large or as small as you'd like. I'm just going to get the outline kind of on here. And then I'll probably fill it in with a larger brush. Yeah. So there's my first petal. And they don't have to be perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect flower. I'm going to put 4 petals on. And then I'm going to come back here with a larger brush and add my pink color. Just be a little bit easier to add with a larger brush. Nice smooth strokes. And of course it's not really, the paint isn't real dry. Makes it a little bit more difficult. And color in one more of the petals here. And I have kind of a blue, purple, pinkish flower. I kind of like that bluish pink. I think I might add actually a little bit of purple. to it. So the nice thing about painting is you can always change. This color looks a little bit pearlesque. I'm gonna add a little bit of that. Make it look a little bit purpley. Yeah, I like that. And just bring your edges around. Nice and smooth. And come back and kind of touch up the rest of these here. Here, purple. Mess up a little bit. Flowers can be anything you want. This is kind of a sunflower daisy. Just a smidge there. There we go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add a stem. And for the stem, I'm going to use kind of a darker color. I'm going to go with like a pavement type. And you're just going to start at by the petals here and just swirl it down. That's it. Pretty simple. And there you have a petal and a stem. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back side of my paintbrush. I'm going to dip it in there and I'm just going to add some dots to my flower just to give it a little bit of dimension. Maybe not too many, but just enough. And I might just go ahead and add just a few back here. And then I'm going to come through with a smaller brush and a little bit of white. And I'm just going to give my flower a little bit of dimension. Just a couple little swirls. And maybe one more. So that flower is coming along fairly well. If you feel like you want to add a little bit more to it, you can always just come back maybe with something a little bit darker. And you can always just add a little bit of dimension around the outsides. Just a little bit of darkening. Kind of gives it a little bit of shape as well. And that is how you paint a flower. I hope that I was able to teach you a little bit about art.